Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. Today we're going to be talking about Kung Fu Panda 4. This is the latest entry in the DreamWorks Universal Kung Fu Panda franchise. And my previous relationship with the franchise goes as follows. I really like the first film. I think the other two are okay. So I went into this with just sort of a bit of an open mind of I really like the first film. Let's kind of see where this goes. And I was very disappointed by this movie, unfortunately. And it's not to say that the film doesn't have good things in it. There are a couple things working in this movie's favor, for sure. But overall, it was just kind of a mess. I'll start off with the positives. Jack Black embodies Po. He does a great job voicing the character. Awkwafina's character is a nice addition. I actually really enjoyed the character's backstory and her relationship to the story. Viola Davis voices the villain, the Chameleon, in this film, and while I didn't love the Chameleon character, Viola Davis has such a powerful presence even when it's just her voice, and you could immediately tell that she was owning every scene that you heard her in. Quan voices the character too, and he also has a very nice presence in the movie. Biggest positive the film has going for it is the relationship between Jack Black's Po and Awkwafina. Their character dynamic and their chemistry I thought really worked, and the way that they moved throughout the story, even if they had to bump into a couple long-running storytelling tropes, their actual dynamic worked really well. And of course, there are also just a lot of funny bits in the movie. All Kung Fu Panda movies are funny, and there are plenty of bits in this movie that will get you even if you weren't expecting them to. And in terms of the animated action, most of it's okay. There's one really great sequence in a tavern that I thought was really well done animated action. That's where the positives kind of fall for me. One of the big negatives I have to mention is the story itself. I won't spoil anything that hasn't already been marketed. Po is basically asked by Master Shifu to become like the spiritual leader. What is it called? The spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. That's what it is. And so he needs to find a successor to the Dragon Warrior. And this whole piece of the story is a bit annoying in the context of the film because we're with a character who's had 3 movies of kind of learning to grow and become something new, and in his own way, albeit, but none of the character's decisions in this film come from within the character, except for the very, very end of the film, but you knew that was going to happen when they set up that he didn't have a decision to make right away. I think the decision to pass on the Dragon Warrior and to move on to something else, not coming from the lead character's own wants and desires, really just makes you rethink his whole journey on these films and be like, has anything been learned? Is he any different or any new from when we first met him in Kung Fu Panda 1 if he still just has to kind of be told what to do all the time? And that's a bit aggravating. The film also is about an hour and 34 minutes long, which it's a quick watch, but it feels way longer. It's paced horribly. It tries to be a movie that has a breakneck pace and keep moving, but there's nothing worth moving on about. Like, you kind of want to learn more about the Zen character. You want to learn more about how Po feels about all this, and it doesn't really let you have that moment. And I honestly think the film could have benefited from being a little bit longer to kind of explore these ideas more. And I mentioned earlier that while I liked Viola Davis, the villain character fell kind of flat, and it does in almost every way. It was almost like a cheap gimmick to be able to imitate previous villains of the past, and they do something that I won't spoil. They do something to try to involve previous villains from the movies, and it just reeked of, we want to make more toys, and we want to be able to say that we had all these people back in the movie, and it just didn't feel like it belonged in the story. It didn't feel genuine. There is a subplot with Po's fathers that is funny, but it felt kind of flat overall in regard to the rest of the story, because when you have a movie that's only about 90 minutes, and a lot of that runtime is just focused on the fathers following Po to make sure he's okay, yeah, it's a fun bit, but it takes a lot of time away from the story that already needs work, and you're already upset by its motivation. So that addition just kept being like, okay, I've stopped caring about this subplot now. Like, I just want to know why I should care about this main plot. So that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster there. And it's a shame too, because I think the film had a lot of potential. And like I said, it's not like a horrible movie by any stretch, but it's not a very good film either. Overall, I'm a bit disappointed by it. To me, in my opinion, it is the weakest film in the franchise. So that'll do it for today's review, guys. What did you think about Kung Fu Panda 4 once you watch it? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.